Be right
Recording?
back. My dog for a second.
Sure. All right, fantastic. Well, welcome to hosting vision boards. So a little bit about me. My name is Arthurine Johnson. I am a realtor. I'm also a PC coach. I am a John Maxwell trained coach, trainer, speaker. I am also, my team leader says, you have to add this and I keep forgetting. I'm also a cultural ambassador for the Southeast region 2019.
Congrats.
And the reason why I light up when I talk about vision board is because I kind of stumbled on it by accident, really, right? So 2014, I remember going to a vision board party and it was just so much fun. And the women that were there, these are just women that were there, they just kicked back, kicked off the shoes. It was in somebody's living room. And then, you know, chatted and drank and ate and visualized their year, right? And I realized as I was sitting there that, oh my God, I had never done a vision board before. I had made resolutions, but we know what happens to resolutions. So the very next year, I decided to do a vision board party. I was going to host one at home, right? I had no systems or whatever. I was going to host one at home in my living room. And so I did. And I think about maybe 6 or 7 people showed up and we had a lot of fun. And so this is my 10th year doing the vision board party. And I'll take you through the timeline of how it's evolved to where James has interviewed me about the vision board party. And
Wow.
so there is a recording out on Pivot Shift. And I think James said that was one of the most popular rewatches this year. So over the break, he replayed it on January 3rd, if you guys want to go see it. And if you're a member of Inspire, my playbook is in Inspire. So let me go ahead and share the slides and we'll get into how you do it. Here it is. Can you guys see the slide?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Let's make it a slideshow. All right. So here we go. So the very first thing you're going to do, have you guys ever attended a vision board party or hosted one?
Attended.
Attended. Okay. So of course, based on where I am and what company I'm with, one of the things that they've taught us is that everything we do over and over and over again must have a system, right? Right, Chris? Right.
Yes, absolutely.
So when James asked me if he could interview me, because I guess my name kept coming up about events and fun events, everybody kept saying Arthurine Vision Board. So when he interviewed us, one of the things I had to do was put together my system, right? So it is a system. I think my assistant has created a smart plan, so it should be in the smart plan. So the first thing you want to do is create a save the date. All right. And thankfully to my assistant, all of this behind the scenes work gets done with her. So she creates a beautiful flyer, right? Very attractive. And she sends a flyer out to my database 6 weeks before the event. So my vision board is usually the very first Sunday in January. Okay. So now it's so consistent because it's the 10th year. So people are looking forward to it. And I've created a little space in their mind where the very first Sunday after church in the afternoon is time to come create your vision board, right? So 6 weeks, you're going to email it out. And we've gotten, well, yes, I'll say But we've gotten so sophisticated now with command that there is a tag in command that says vision board attendees,
Mm.
right? And we'll update it as the year goes by. So who does it go out to? It goes out to all of my clients, right? It goes out to my VIPs. It goes out to my sphere of influence. Also goes out because and I'll get to the sponsorship of it. It goes out to some of my friends from church. Okay. So 6 weeks ahead of time, you're going to email that. You can, before I had Command, it would just be an email with a flyer. Command has made it so much easier. So now we use Command to send that out. Any questions? So
Nope.
6 weeks. So if you think, okay, first week, so you're pretty much, you want to send it out. 6 weeks would make that very
Thanksgiving.
first week of November
Okay.
or the end of October, right? And it's just a save the date, all right? Okay. All right, so once she sent the save the date, 2 weeks later, right, you send out an Evite. And I still like using Evite. So you want to send that again to the same clients, right? That you send the original save the date to. You want to include an RSVP date. And she has here clearly mentioned an RSVP date because guess what?
You run out of space.
Not only that, people don't RSVP, right? And I need to know how many people are coming just to make sure I have enough space, okay? So just a little backstory before I go on. So 2015 is the first time I had one, and I think we went straight through to 2018 at my home, right? And so I think 2017, my friend who's also my pastor's wife came and she didn't finish her vision board, right? So 2018, I'm like, listen, nobody's leaving here without finishing the vision board. So she called me sometime during the year and she's like, oh my God, everything on this vision board came to pass. I have never had a vision board for, and she's a high I Chris. So she's like, we've got to blow this up, right? We've got to blow it up. I said, okay, what does that mean? She's like, can I make it a part of the women's ministry and offer that as an event for the year? I'm like, hallelujah. Yes, run with it, right? So now it's part of the women's ministry. They have sponsored it and it has grown so much that I think 2019 I had it upstairs in the training room, and we have a very large training room that seats about 50 something, right? So 2019 I think was the first time we were upstairs and it was wonderful. 2020, of course, you know what happened. We didn't have an in-person physical. And yet, we had it. We had it and we did it virtually. And I remember opening it up to the pivot community along with my clients and my friends. So we had a few agents on, you know, from around the country. We had my peeps on and we did our vision board because that's what we had to work with. Okay. So that's how it has evolved over time, where it's outgrown my living room completely. And we're now, I'm not worried about, you know, the supplies and the glue stick and the whatever, because I'll show it to you on another, we have that all, right? And it's stored. I asked her on Sunday, I'm like, where are you storing all of this stuff? Because I remember they used to store it in a storage room. Now she stores it at home. So we've got everything, okay? All right, so we're down to 4 weeks. So the 4th week, you're gonna send out your Evite. The 3rd week, you're gonna start texting people to say, hey, I remember the vision board parties coming up and we emailed you, right? You want to do that. You want to start texting 3 weeks before the event because like my friend that I had lunch with over the holidays, she said, I didn't see the email. I'm like, how could you not? She's like, because I am off from my job and I don't check emails. And I was like, oh, this is why I text. So 3 weeks ahead of time, this is your lead gen for the day, I guess, right? You're gonna be texting everybody on there saying, hey, remember, I sent it out, look for it. Any questions so far?
No.
No.
Okay. You can also call. And I will call clients who haven't, and my friends who have not responded to the Evite or the Sign Up Genius. Sometimes we do a Sign Up Genius. I really like the Evite, so I think I'm just gonna stick to the Evite. So you're gonna make calls, especially to the folks that come every year. You're gonna call them like, hey, what's going on this year? You know, because I sent it, you haven't responded. And most of the times you can see on the Evite where it says viewed, but they just hadn't said yes or no, right? So again, you want to call them. Some people respond faster to text, others will respond to a call. So either call or text, that's fine. But you're staying engaged with your group, right? Because of all the value that this brings, okay? So you would run it like just any other event that you do. Okay, this one says, this is what I would do before I had the church co-sponsor. And the church, we have every single thing you can think of, right? So purchase essentials, right? And honestly, Tom, I would
Mhm.
spend about $10. Not 10, yeah, maybe between 10 and 50.
Okay.
And I would get extra poster boards, extra scissors or two, a thing of glue sticks, and all year long, I'm creating magazines. I'm collecting magazines. Because when the invitation goes out, guess what it says? It says, bring your own poster boards, bring your own scissors, bring your own glue, bring your magazines, and bring a dish to share. So if I spend any money at all, it's just, maybe somebody might forget something. So I have a few essentials there for them. And that would have been 2 weeks before the event. Yeah, my daughter was here and she went back before the event. So we went to the dollar store. You don't need to go anywhere else. Go to the dollar store, pick up, or you can go to somewhere else because the dollar store is really now $1.25 store. So go to any other place that sells these things and just pick some stuff up just in case somebody forgets, right?
Okay.
All right, so 1 week before, you're like, Atherine, why are you working this so hard? Well, I will tell you at the end. So you're gonna send, the thing I love about Evite has those built-in automatic reminders, right? But you can't just rely on the Evite to send it out for you because you want to be as personable as possible when you do these events, any event at all. So I am texting the ones who've RSVP'd a week before to remind them of the event, right? So that's 1 week before I'm texting. I'm excited to see you. Oh my God, I can't believe you've made it again. So you're engaging with conversations, right? Is this your 8th year? How many years have you been coming? I'm so excited, right? Okay, so that's a week before. The day before the event, final preparations, you want to double check the venue, and I set up on the day off, right? So you want to go back, right? If your market center requires, if you're holding it in a market center and it requires a reservation, just do it the minute you send out your save the date.
Really.
Right? If you're using the church's place or you're using, some people have used the restaurant. And you know how some restaurants have a big room in the back? Make sure you reserve that space. And it always helps to double check the venue, like a couple of days before. Okay, make sure they haven't double booked, they haven't given your space away. Because the last thing you want to do is show up with all your stuff and they're like, oh my God, we forgot, and somebody else is using the space. Okay, so that's why now I do it at my market center because it's a Sunday, it's the first day in January. Nobody's using that space upstairs. Okay, and if somebody did, there's another space right here we can use, right? Okay, any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Um,
So that's a picture of last year. We had a full house last year. Oh, over the years too, remember I said it started off with just girls, women. So over the years, the men are like, hey, can we come? I'm like, absolutely, come on. So the men have started coming. Okay. So let's not talk about this yet. Let's go back to how do I set up the event, right? And I'll show you guys a picture of it. I thought it was here. So when I usually get to the event an hour before, and my friend Des, she will get to the event with me and we'll start setting up. So we use 3 tables over to the side and we lay out all the magazines, right? We'll put all the Oprah Winfrey magazines together. We'll put all the money magazines together. We'll put as much as we can, we'll put them according to type. So if I'm putting them out and I'm seeing a lot of magazines that they're sports oriented magazines, I'll put those together, right? What we put together also, we've got the glue, we've got the scissors, we've got a table also with little, James would call it whoozy whatses. So it's sprinklers and it's letters and numbers and little hearts and little anything you can think of that somebody like a high eye, because they want to sprinkle stuff on their board and put little hearts and little twinkly whatever, we'll put that on a table also,
Okay.
right? So all the supplies, we have all the supplies set up, and each table has, if you look at the second table, you see like a pink, we have like a little holder where we put the glue sticks, we put the scissors, we put some peppermint, we put some other little whoozy whatses on the side. If you look right here, what we do, we go around the room, we've got like little shopping bags, and not staple those, we tape a bag on each side, and this is for the garbage, right? So at the end of the night, it's an easy cleanup,
Oh.
and I can leave my market center training room the way I found it.
Right.
Okay, so that's how we set up the venue. And off to this room, there is a kitchen. So we've got a table set up for all of the food that my folks are gonna bring, right? And I already have like plates, right? I have plates, I have spoons, forks, I've got there's water in there, and I've got cups. Okay. So I still want to make sure I have enough cups and plates provided because they're gonna bring all the food. Okay. And oh, some people will email you or text you and ask you about food. Um, you can go something unusual. You're gonna get a lot of chips, so you might ask for hummus.
On it.
Right? You might get you're gonna get a lot of what else? Fruit, cut up fruit. So you might ask for some cheese. You know what I'm saying? Just use your head. Just think about what people bring when they're going to a party, and then just ask for something unusual. Okay?
Mhm.
All right. You want to take a lot of pictures during the event because guess what you're gonna do with your pictures?
Social media?
Mhm.
You're gonna hype it on social media. Look at this group. Don't they look like they're having fun?
Yeah.
And by the way, you can drop this into your Evite. So the other people who didn't show up, they will get a reminder after the event saying, oh my God, look at all of this. Sorry, so sorry you missed it. So show appreciation. I haven't done this yet because I've been down this week, right? So send thank you cards to all attendees if you have their address. And oh, by the way, this is a great way to get people's physical mailing address.
Mm.
Because when you open it up so that when your sphere of influence comes, they feel free to bring a friend. Okay. And the friend, you always encourage them, if you're going to bring a friend, have them sign up or let me know so I can send them the link. That way I have their email address. Okay.
Perfect.
And it says mail your thank you cards 1 week after the event. So we will work on that this week. And I've been down with the flu, so I will text people also because this year we did like a sign-in. This is the first year I've done a sign-in sheet. And I've got a couple of new people that I don't have in my database. Okay. So
That's
that's a
great.
phone call, of course, because when you're at the event, you're having so much fun, you can't really go into really deep conversations. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So at the event, right? So once everybody gets to the event and they're like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in a year, blah, 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 whatever. Once they get to the event, you're like, the food is in the kitchen. Most of them know exactly where it is. Grab your plate and take it back. You can go grab your most of them don't even need me to say go grab your magazine because they go grab their magazines. And I'm like, grab your magazines, take all of that back to your table, right? And before you start, you want to do maybe a 5 minute intro to what a vision board is.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's always somebody in the room has never done one. Most of these faces that I'm looking at, they're my regular attendees, but they're people who have never done one and they have no idea what to do. So what I usually do I talk about what a vision board is, how it gives meaning to our vision and our goals, right? And how the pictures with action help to bring certain things to life and that this is better than making a resolution, right? So I do a little speech on that. I bring Des up, who is the co-sponsor, right? And I thank her, right? Always, always be giving gratitude. So I thank her, and then if she has anything to say, she will. And then I'll ask if has anybody done a vision board before? And there's always one who has never done. It's like, oh, I'm here because Tom invited me, so I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm curious. So I said, the way I do a vision board, let me see if I have a blank. Let's just pretend that this is my poster board, right? So I'll grab a blank poster board and I will actually fold it in quarters. Yeah. And it said the best way to think about a vision board is think about what your values are. And I will ask, and undeniably, the first value is always my faith, right? And I will go, perfect, mine too, right? So now I'm holding up the vision board. And I said, the way I set up my vision board is I've got 4 categories, right? I've got is faith, family, career, and of course, myself. So in the right-hand corner, right, I will do spiritual, right? I say spiritual, I said that takes care of the faith. Family, I say I put family on the left side. Career, I put on the spiritual, right? Because I want everything to be in order. And then me, I'm gonna put on the family. And in the middle is a word, your word of the year, or a picture of something that ties faith, family, career, and yourself together. And then people will ask me for direction. What do you mean by spiritual? And I'll say, well, for example, like this year for my board, I have the picture of a woman, and I'll show it to you guys. Somebody doing yoga, it represents peace for me, right? And I'll have pictures of things I want to do with the family. If I have a concern about something, like this year, I have all of my children will be taught of God, and great will be the peace of my children. I'll have a picture of the family there. And so I kind of just set it up for them and give them examples of what I put on my vision board. And one of the things I'll do throughout the event is kind of listen to what people are saying. Because somebody might go, oh my God, I need a picture of money. And somebody else would go, oh, I saw it in this magazine, right? And so we help each other throughout the process. Like Sunday, two of my newbies were so stuck because they had a lot of printouts and words, right? So it's pictures and it's also words that go on there. So they had a lot of those, right? And they're like, oh my God, I'm so stuck. I don't know what to do. And I said, listen, start laying them out on your board. And everything will jump out at you. Whatever is supposed to be on your vision board for this year, you'll be amazed how it comes together at the end. And the stuff that doesn't need to be on your vision board, it will go away. And it happened, right? And so I got a couple of rules, even though it's a vision board and we have it fun. I got a couple of rules. So one rule is that don't leave with an unfinished vision board, right? Because what are the chances that in our busy lives that we're gonna finish them? And then the second one, and the second one is once you're finished with your vision board, before you leave, go to the front of the room and explain what's on your vision board. And I don't think people realize why some people get it because they've been coming long enough. The reason why I do it is two reasons, right? It gives a voice and it gives life to what's on their vision board. It's also a sense of accountability for them without them even knowing, right? So they'll stand up and they'll explain their vision board to us. And I cannot tell you guys how many times people have just broken, just broke and just cried. I feel like last year, I don't know what the heck was going on with 2023 and 24, but last year's, a lot of people cried. Yeah. And also just hearing the stories, because when they're up there, they'll say, you know, for the last 3 years, I've had a picture of a book. I wanted to write a book. And I've had it on the vision board for 3 years. And last year I wrote it and I published it. Right? Or just hearing somebody say, I've wanted so very badly to buy a house and I did. Right? It's just this event, more than any other event that I do, fills my spirit up. And it does the same thing for the people who come. And that's why I'm always going to do it.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any questions?
Not for me. You really can't, you've answered and addressed if you had kind of shared how do you start. Is there, I know some people like to go through the wheel, like Rick Hale, if you've heard him before.
Yeah.
I do like what you had mentioned. Better than a resolution, it speaks actions. I like how you divided your board. I've made
Yeah.
several with
Yeah.
teams and I've never done that. So I do like
Mhm,
that a lot.
mhm, mhm.
Um, and I like how you had it broken down, by the weeks and made a smart plan after it in the process. I love that. And then the thank you notes, everything's systematic. You've answered all of my questions. It's great. Thank
Okay.
you. Tom, do you have
Yeah,
anything?
I don't have any questions. I guess one of my questions is that you have to kind of plan ahead if you got to bring a bunch of magazines, or I guess it'd be expensive to have a printer or something like that. So people would be printing it. So, and part of, I guess, the
Yes.
process is cutting out of the magazine and, sharing it and everything. So,
Yes. Yeah. And I'm gonna go look on Facebook and show you guys the pictures because I thought there were better pictures of the magazines. And and I've been to Rick Hale's class where he does the
Five.
seven circle,
Yeah.
and that's more of a workshop,
Yeah.
right? Where this is not a workshop, this is a vision board, right? Exercise. And I set aside about 3 hours, but maybe 5 to 8. This time I did 4 to like 8:30, right? And I'm there from 3 o'clock because I'm setting up, right?
Sure.
And so that's why I focus heavily on faith, family, career, and you, right? Because we both know we can't help anybody if we're empty.
Mhm.
So that's why you have to be on that vision board. What do you want for yourself? What retreats are you gonna go to? Do you want a vacation on the beach? Do you want to go hiking? Right? Do you want to, what are your plans? Are you gonna save to buy a vacation home or whatever? Something has to be on there for just you that
Yeah.
it might spill over into the family, right? And so here's the thing, don't worry about who says yes, because I think because life happens, right? So we send it out to over 100 plus, right? 30, I want to say 36, 30, 32 said yes. Um, By last week, we were down to 26.
Mm.
On Sunday, as we're setting up, we're getting texts saying, oh my God, I have the flu.
Mm.
So we had 15 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had 15. Last year we had close to 30, but this year we have this flu bug that is rampant, right?
Yes.
So don't worry too much. If 50 people says yes, trust me, 50 are not gonna show up, right? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All
Focus,
right.
state, kind of sharing with them, focus on your goals for this year, or are you kind of open, if like,
I am open to that. I know some people go focus on your goals for this year. I am so open just because of what I've seen in that room upstairs. Remember, I told you my friend wanted to write a book,
Mhm.
and for 3 years
Yeah.
it was on there. But it's in her face. Now she can't ignore it because at some point she's gonna go, you know what? This is ridiculous. I
Mhm.
need to finish this book. And
Yeah.
she finished it and published it last year,
Okay.
right? So yeah, okay, so when I bought my house, I think that was on there for about 3 years. And
Okay.
it drove me because I looked at it and like, okay, you got to get X amount of dollars saved up, right? There are a couple of things you might want to do with your credit. So I don't mind if people have a couple of big ones on there.
Okay.
Because you're
Okay.
gonna have at least one big thing on there, right? Like mission work or philanthropy,
Mhm.
a boat, or whatever that you might not hit. But here's the thing, the chances are you probably will if you're putting some action behind it.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I love this. Thank you so very much.
You
Mhm.
are very
exciting.
welcome. I'm gonna, let's see if I can stop share with this one.
Yeah, and you could stop recording and we'll upload.